Some are salt, some will not. Cardinal Nation has much to cheer about, so set your DVRs and watch this 3, 4, maybe 5 times it's that good. We bring you all the big wins. Sports Night is next.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Sports Night. I'm Joe Young.
And I'm Howie Shapiro. And, Joe, we do have a lot to celebrate on tonight's show.
Well, we have a lot to talk about.
And
we have a lot of
video,
video of just about everybody except for cross country, whose only event this past week was in Wilmer, and the budget just wasn't there to send a photographer.
It would have been nice to get up there, but I was busy.
Well, you're next on the depth chart. And they just
you mean the last on the depth chart?
Perhaps. But a lot to talk about, as usual. We will start with football. The football team, they just keep rolling. Another win last week, and they're coming home on a 4-game win streak. On Friday, the Cardinals were at Spring Lake Park. Panthers struggling at the start of this season with a lot of injuries, but this is a team that was in the state championship just last year. So the Cardinals knew they'd be in for a battle despite the Panthers' 1-3 record. Coon Rapids starts fast, opening possession, just the 6th play of the game. Jalen Salazar breaks loose off right tackle, and once he's in the open field, he's not going to be caught. A 54-yard touchdown run to start the scoring less than 3 minutes into the game. The Cardinals just want to pile it on. Next time they have the ball, second play, Tyler George airing it out over the middle. Jordan Brown, a great catch, an even better landing, good for a 35-yard pick up to the 13. That led to another score. Second and goal from the 1. Miles Taylor up and over. He's in easily. It's 14-0 Cards. And they weren't done in the first. Cardinals didn't throw a lot, but they did get some big plays through the air. George rolling out, finding Kenny Nawachi behind the defense. No chance to catch him on this one. 74 yards for the score. Coon Rapids up 20-0 after the first quarter. Late in the second, Cardinals on the move again. George 5 of 9 passing on Friday. 4 of the receptions to number 1, Kenny Nawachi. Another 30-yard pickup there. He had 130 in the game. Under 30 seconds left in the half. Great second effort by Miles Taylor. Spins and gets in. His second touchdown of the game. It's 27-0 at the half. Spring Lake Park can't be forgotten about, though, and they show why. Their big running back, Caden McMahon, busted that 65-yard run on the second play of the third quarter. Added another one to make it 20-14. But the Cardinals hold on from there. They get a little more cushion late in the game. Tyler George on the scramble. Great stretch to the goal line. That was the final, 34-14. The Cardinals ranked number 10 going into that, and only going to be stronger in next week's rankings.
No question about it. You know, they're getting stronger as the weeks go on. I really like, of course, what the defense has done. Great effort from those guys. And I like the fact that, you know, they also did it through the air and on the ground this week. So they really were able to kind of, you know, divide up their offense. I thought Tyler George did a nice job of running that offense, did a nice job on the ground, did a nice job staying calm in the pocket, and also on the run.
Yeah, and as they get deeper into the schedule, some teams they may have to throw against a little bit more. You definitely can't forget about the passing game, but the running game has been so strong. Nobody blowing up numbers last week, but 3 different receivers or rushers getting into the end zone for 4 rushing touchdowns. And again, we saw a number of big plays, including the catches by Nawachi. Right. The one catch for Jordan Brown right at the beginning of the game for 35. Salazar added a couple more 20-plus yard runs in there. He finished with 90 to lead the team, but just so much fun to watch this team, and they are finding success. They're not yet at the top of the standings because they've only played 1 division game, but they have the best record in the Suburban Blue at 4-1. That game with Armstrong looming just 2 weeks away. Hopkins, last team the Cardinals will face this year, also the final team winless in the division. Here's a look at the remaining schedule. Chanhassen coming in at 3-2 is pretty good. They outscore opponents 88-77. Armstrong, as we talked about, currently sitting at top. That will be their last division game of the season. And they are 3-2 also, but have only scored 1 point better than defenders. Hopkins 0-5, being outscored 140-54. And look at the Cardinals.
Nice.
Cardinals, nice numbers to see, 106-63 so far.
Just love the balance on this team. There's so many contributors on both sides of the ball, and that's really what makes a good team, is that it's really a team sport, and you've got a lot of people contributing.
Yeah, and they are a lot of fun to watch, and of course that I think is contagious throughout the entire school and throughout the community. So it's good to see them leading the way and having some success.
Absolutely. Well, the tennis team heads into this week's section tournament on a positive streak after ending regular season with a pair of wins. It started with a visit from Osseo on Tuesday with his young Cardinals team, found a way to end up on the winning side of a 4-3 score this time. The Battle of the Birds went down to the wire with the Cardinals flying away victorious. Orioles had the edge on the singles side. Ellen Everhart playing a tough match for the Cardinals at first singles. Kept it close as you can, but came up short, losing 6-7, 5-7. Tough one for her. It's a similar story for Grace Hanula at second singles. Staying close all the way through, but she's going to lose it in straight sets, 4-6, 3-6. But the Cardinals scored victories at fourth singles, second, third doubles, leaving just 2 matches in the end, both going to third set. Maddie Wester with a good point here, but she loses 6-7, 6-2, 1-6. So it came down, coming up here to first doubles coming up. There's the win for her. So it came down to first doubles. Carly Nelson and Emma Newton in the near court. They played through with a 7-5, 6-7, 6-2 win. But they didn't know it was until it was over, but they clinched the team win for Coon Rapids. 4-3 was the final.
Yeah, it was 3-3 going to those 2 third sets. Wester came up
smart
short.
Not to tell him.
And didn't let him know. But when they were done, they clinched the victory. And the Cardinals have been on the other side of so many 4-3 matches this year. And again, a very young team. So nice to see them find that win right towards the end of the regular season, especially in one of those close matches. I think it's going to help a lot going into the tournament time.
No question.
But even more so as they look forward to next year when they're going to return almost their entire lineup. Cardinals did follow it up with another victory, closing out the book on the regular season with a 6-1 win over Irondale. Your winners, Grace Hanula at second singles, Maddie Wester at third, Severson at fourth singles, 6-1, 6-1. Nelson and Newton won at first double, 6-3, 6-3. I believe the second and third doubles teams were the other 2 victories, but I'm not going to quite guarantee that. They don't quite know what their schedule is. They are meeting as we sit on the desk live on Monday night to determine that. They will either play at home on Tuesday or on the road on Wednesday to start the section tournament.
They'll be either the 8 or the 9, depending on where it's seated. And so if they're 9, they'll be at home Tuesday, maybe against Edison. If they're 8, they'll be on the road at Wayzata, which will be a tough one for them.
Well, we will definitely have the results of that next week on Sportsnight. Cardinals volleyballers are flying high this week after a pair of wins against conference opponents. It started with a visit from Irondale on Tuesday. Both the Cardinals and the Knights were looking for their first win in a best-of-5 match. It was close all night long and went down to the 5th and final. First set is very tight, start to finish. The score was tied 8 different times, most of those late in the set. Cardinals pull it out in the end. Paige Fosslin catching them off guard right there. Coon Rapids takes the first set 25-22. Cougars answered in the second, jumped to a 7-1 lead early and never looked back. Corey Sprypeck getting the kill in the middle there. They led by as many as 10 on the way to the 25-19 win. Another seesaw struggle in the third. Cardinals never trailed but couldn't pull away either. Emma Wright getting the kill. Cardinals get a 25-22 win. Centennial not about to roll over. They took the lead midway through the fourth set and did not give it up. Natalie Riley with a kill here. Cougars force the 5th and final with a 25-20 win. Coon Rapids starting fast in the 5th. Sophia Frakey had the win there, the kill there, get them the 6-1 lead. Cardinals couldn't close it out. Their first match point, but the second time, well, it's a charm. Senior Lauren Koss gets it to the floor, starts the celebration. 17-15 final in the 5th. Cardinals celebrate their first best-of-5 win, their first conference victory, and their first win on their home floor.
Yeah, it was a fun match to be at. And talking with Coach Enns, he said, they're starting to gel a little bit, and you could see it there. We kind of saw a little bit of that against Anoka, even though they lost 3-1. They really started to gel a little bit, playing a little better, closer matches, and it carries over.
Well, and they've had a lot of matches or sets where they're close in sets, but still end up losing, a 3-0 match, even though they were close in all 3 sets. But again, another young team, and of course, Coach N's first year with the program and came in very late. But they are starting to find a little bit more success towards the end of the season. They followed it up with a win on Thursday, beating Irondale in 4. Final score 25-13, 28-26, 16-25, and 25-21.
They get a couple of wins back to back.
And they've got a handful of games remaining. They host Rogers on Tuesday and Andover on Thursday. So a couple of home meets, and they go in on a win streak.
Always good to go in on that winning streak. The swimming and diving team had a very busy week last week with a pair of conference dual meets and a tournament on Saturday. The Cardinals, well, they're dealing with some injuries and illnesses as well, so it was a good test of character for this young squad to see if they could persevere through the adversity and rise to the challenge of a daunting schedule. Both of the Cardinal duels are on the road, and Tuesday diving action against a strong Spring Lake Park team. 8th grade Emma Schmidt with a great showing in the 100 butterfly. She can't quite catch the leader, but has a comfortable second place finish in a time of 1:13.30 as she touches the wall. A couple of the Cardinals' top swimmers are among those injured. But fortunately, Megan Schultz is not one of them. The freshman is almost always guaranteed points when she gets in the water. She runs away with the win in the 100 free against the Panthers, tagging the wall in a time of 56.62. Well, especially with the injuries, the Cardinals, they don't have the depth to compete with the Panthers, so it was an exhibition at the end, but still a great race in the 200 free relay. Megan Schultz, Michaela D'Souza, Emma Schmidt, and Jadlyn Michalowski team up, and Michalowski with a strong finish. She will get them a legitimate second place finish, beating the Panther team by just 0.4 of a second. The Cardinals, unfortunately, though, were going to lose by a final score of 94-82.
Yeah, when you have a young team and you have those couple of stars,
Yep.
when you lose one of those, even one of those top girls is tough. But they've got a couple of girls they look to for team points.
No question.
That are on the sidelines right now. Fortunately, minor things, and should be back in plenty of time for the most important meets of the year. And those injuries, they force the Cardinals obviously to make some changes to the lineup, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. Gives the girls a chance to swim some different events, and they're maybe not as strong in, or maybe haven't had a chance to compete in before. Coach Donaldson says it should make the team more well-balanced, and hopefully everyone will be healthy when they get to those more important meets. Speaking of swimming different events, this is not something you see every day. Megan Schultz swimming the butterfly? This is the 200 freestyle. You can swim anything you want, and she wanted to race the 200 free as a 200 fly. She does it really well. Schultz keeps pace with the leaders, gets to the wall in second place in 2:13.22. More on that in a second. Schultz, outside of her comfort zone again a little bit, swimming the distance event. She doesn't do the 500 free very often, but when she does, she dominates. Schultz cruises to the win in 5:31.41, more than 30 seconds ahead of second place. Ella Hacker with a nice race in the 100 backstroke. She takes second place with a time of 1 minute 9.45 seconds. Cardinals lose the meet 98-74, but take a lot of positives away from the race. So Megan Schultz,
Yes.
swimming the butterfly for 200 yards. It's not something that is a race for high school events, the
Right.
200 butterfly. The only butterfly length is 100. In club, they do swim a 200 butterfly. Megan Schultz, a very good butterfly swimmer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is very good in the non-high school season at the club level, swimming the 200 fly. Always wanted to race it in high school, and this was a good opportunity
for
for
her.
her to do so. I had to figure it out. I called Coach Donaldson. He gave me a great explanation, but he talked about having the right timing and what that does for her when she is swimming like a 100 butterfly, to have that really serious competition next to her as she's doing a butterfly, because so often she will dominate in a butterfly in the 100
in the
butterfly.
100, right.
So for her to get out there against girls who are swimming the crawl, it gives her just a much better push. So fun to watch it. It threw me for a loop, but I got a good explanation.
And it's hard to throw you for a loop.
No, not when it comes to swimming. No, it's not. Swimming and diving team wasn't quite done. They went to St. Peter over the weekend on Saturday at the St. Peter High School Invite. Cardinals finished third place in that event. A very nice day for them. 200 relay was second place, 204.05. Ella Hacker was second place in the 200 IM. Megan Schultz, first place in the 100 butterfly with Ella Hacker right behind her in second place. Schultz also won the 100 backstroke, and the 400 relay team brought home a blue ribbon as well.
Always nice.
A big meet coming up this week. Always, every time when you share a pool, that meet just a little bit extra on the line. The Cardinals and the Bengals, pool mates for years, share the swimming facilities, and the right to bragging rights comes up on Thursday as the Bengals and the Cardinals take to the pool at Northdale Middle School in Howie.
We'll be there.
All right. Next week.
I know Coach Donaldson's excited for us to be
next
there.
week they're at Champlin Park. Cross country team, as we mentioned, was in Wilmer this past weekend. The out of town event draws a lot of high-end clubs from across the state. Cardinals finished pretty well on the boys' side, a 7th place finish. Paul Breitbach, a 13th place finish, just a couple of fractions over 17 minutes flat. Almost exactly a minute behind him, Nick Jorgensen, 37th place. Reed Smith was in 43rd. Noah Christensen, 49th. And Johnson finished in 50th. On the girls' side, not quite as strong a finish as they would have liked. They finished in 11th place. Abby Ellenbecker, their top finisher. Headland finished 78th, Hoagland 81st, Olivia Ellenbecker in 82nd, and Hattie Bio finished in 86th place in 24 minutes, 48.70 seconds. They have this week the greatest event.
Your favorite. Your new favorite.
At least name-wise, that I've seen in a long time. The Thundering Royal Elk Invitational at Fox Hollow on Thursday. That's where the cross-country team will be. And that is their final tune-up for the conference championships, which will take place at Elk River next Thursday.
Good stuff coming up. Well, we got a little bit more to go before we're through with this show. The boys' soccer team was busy last week with a pair of conference games Tuesday, Thursday with a visit from a section rival on Saturday. It started with a trip to Irondale on Tuesday. The Knights were coming off back-to-back wins but had been winless in 9 straight games before that. The Cardinals tied their last 2 and were hoping they could get over the hump on the road. Cardinals tearing up the turf. Great touch pass through the midfield. And Gael Tomboy able to escape the corner, lays it back out front. Shot by Koji is stopped, but Andrew Lynch is there to put the rebound home with the Cardinals on the board first. More speed and passing on display in the first. Gael carrying it in deep again, laying it out front for Koji, and another grade A opportunity, but it's wide of the far post and stays a 1-goal game. Let's move to the second half. Coon Rapids continues to pressure off a throw-in from Sidney Achi with a rocket toward the upper right corner. Keeper Kennedy Kika able to make another big save. They continue to test him too from all angles and parts of the field. Achi again, this time cutting back to the middle and getting off a good left footer. Kiki snags it out of the air. Those saves were huge. Final 20 seconds of regulation. Irondale corner kick. LePage gets his hands on it but can't hold on. Felt it was interfered with, but it'll count and the game goes to overtime. First extra period, Cardinals corner kick perfectly placed to the back corner by Begich. Ethan Mosier flies to head into the back of the net, and they're going to hold on from there for the 2-1 win in overtime. Nice win for the boys soccer squad.
It was, absolutely, and we talk so often about, a couple of games last week, we were talking about opponents' goals being really pretty. That was a very pretty goal
nice
by Mosier, perfectly placed where he could head it home, nice that if you have a team that they had some success and they've been up and down a little bit, those are those games that if it goes the other way, especially with the tying goal coming so late, would have been kind of a heartbreaker for them. But Cardinals able to pull out the victory in extra periods. Not the same sort of luck on Thursday Centennial came to the complex and handed the Cardinals a 3-1 loss. Gael getting a goal, Begich the assist. LePage made 10 saves in the loss. On Saturday, Cardinals hosting Duluth East. They lose that one by the same 3-1 score. Siniachi had the lone goal for the Cardinals. And both soccer teams wrapping up the regular season this week. Cardinals host Maple Grove on Tuesday. They're at Spring Lake Park on Thursday, and Howie will be there on Tuesday, and that will be a huge challenge for the Cardinals.
Both Maple Grove squads. You'll talk about the girls in a second, but the boys, very good. Very, very good. No question.
The girls soccer team, as you mentioned, I would talk about. They traveled to Iredale on Tuesday, knowing it was a rare opportunity for them to face a team below them in the conference standings. Knights and Cardinals had both been shut out in their previous 2 games and would be looking to find some way to get their offenses going. One of them was bound to break through. Cardinals pressuring the Knights deep in their own end. Pass in the middle. Caitlin Ackerman is able to come up with the steal. Keeper Maddie Quest makes the relatively easy save, but a good chance at the net. Caitlin's next chance would not be so easy for Quest. Ackerman finding some room, gets off a great shot. Watch the save by Quest. Diving back to her right. And I'm not sure if she's stretching or taking a bow there, but it was definitely highlight reel material. Scoreless into the second. Coon Rapids on the move. Caitlin down the left wing. Perfect cross out front. Easy tap home for Faith Kudzia. Finally ending the Cardinals' long scoreless streak. And the Cardinals wanted more. Maddie Bloomquist cutting back inside. Defender grabs her by the waist, and that's a no-no. Bloomquist a chance on the PK. She leaves no doubt. Scorching it past the keeper to give Coon Rapids a little bit of cushion. And that was plenty. 2-0 the final as the Cardinals get the win on the road.
And they needed that too. It was a confidence booster for them as well.
It was. It only lasted so long though, because on Thursday they too hosted the Centennial Cougars. They lost by a 2-0 score. Feels a lot better to be on the winning side of the 2-0 score, but that is the way it ended against the Cougars, and they too will host Maple Grove on Tuesday before finishing the regular season on the road at Spring Lake Park on Thursday.
Yeah, we get an opportunity to see both soccer squads tomorrow, so we haven't seen them in a while, so it'll be a good opportunity. And as you mentioned, a really stiff challenge for both squads.
Yeah, both Maple Grove teams will come in with 10-plus wins, and they will be also looking to finish their season strong. For both of these teams, really though, to face a higher level club right before the end of the regular season, probably a good thing.
Yes.
It really gives them an idea how to play against that top level competition. And when it really matters, that's when it really counts.
No question about it.
Well, we will be very busy this week as well, Howie, because as you mentioned, we'll be at those soccer games on Tuesday, a little doubleheader action, starting with the 5 o'clock kickoff game 1, and then 7 o'clock, we'll be at the pool for that battle of supremacy at Northdale Middle School on Thursday. Live coverage starts at 6 o'clock. And then the Cardinals at home hosting Chanhassen on Friday. Can they make it 5 in a row, improve to 5-1? Chanhassen will test that streak. They've come in at 3-2. I'm really excited.
I am too. I think they can.
To see if they can do it.
I think they can.
I have every bit of confidence they can win the rest of the way, but one game at a time. Thanks for tuning in. Again, want to thank everybody out there for supporting us, continuing to support everything we do here at CTN. For the entire crew, including Howie Shapiro, I'm Joe Young. Saying good night.